So this is Miss Chica, the day that I met her, which was February 2nd. I wanted to document the way that she was naturally carrying herself when I first met her, and then how I'm going to help her on the ground to use her body in a more effective way. So obviously she's not technically 2 until May, but the industry generally calls them 2 years old, by January 1st. So she still has some growing to do, and she's clearly downhill. And one of the things that I was thinking about when I went and saw her here in this clip was how she was carrying herself. She threw her head up in order to kind of propel herself, lift that front end. And some of that is kind of to be expected with her being shaped and built the way that she is right now. And some of that I think is also just her not having been taught or shown how to use her body more correctly. And you'll possibly also notice that she's kind of looks like she has an upside down neck, where the underside of her neck seems like it's longer than the top side of it where the mane is growing out. You can particularly see that in some of these clips. I liked this because she was nervous walking past this tarp for the shavings pile and then chose to go up on her own to look at it. So I really liked that inquisitiveness with her. But this clip was taken March 16th, first time I worked her at home in my round pen. And here at a walk going to the left, you can see that she's more able to stretch her neck down and push from her back end a little bit more. And then as soon as we get up into the trot, now she's much more resistant. I did notice that she kind of lacks a forward drive instinctually from her back end, and some of that is resulting in that uphill frame. So you can see the shape of her neck looks really poor here, where she's kind of braced underneath and she's going to be holding some tension in her back because of that. What I'm working on, or what I will be working on too, is showing her that she can relax her neck down and propel from her back end. Now, going to the right here, she's much more braced, and it took a long time to show her how to be soft in the contact of my hand and to push forward and have some bend through her body. So I just wanted to share some of these early clips of how she was traveling when she first arrived, and what I'm going to be doing to try and help her to propel from the back end and use her body in a better way for her. She also was just stiffer in my hand here. She wanted to hang on my hand quite a bit. And I will try and get some more video from a tripod. It's hard to effectively work with her here in the round pen and be videoing. There was just the tiniest little bit trying to relax a little bit and push from that back end. So that's what her education is going to continue looking like for right now. And this will also build her fitness level some more and give her some more stamina, and then start helping show her how to have proper posture before we start doing any sort of under saddle work. But she did really start to understand a little bit more. Every single work with her, every single session's just going to help her understand more and more of what I'm asking for. So this clip was taken a couple of weeks after the last one. It really shows that she's starting to relax really well, stretching down, pushing from her back end. So we're starting to see some postural changes. And now the rest of this video is all taken May 2nd. So I've had her for about a month and a half. I haven't had super consistent works with her. She is, young, and so I try to limit as much round penning and circle work as we do. But you can see in the beginning bit of today's clip, she was a little excited. She wasn't really super focused. She was doing her kind of upside down bracing thing. But I wanted to share some of that so you could see more of the transformation of when she starts to use herself in the way that I want to see her use herself. That way you can really see the difference between her kind of natural habitual way of going about, and then what I've been trying to encourage her to do. So there are some moments here where you see when her neck is up and she's tense, and other times where she relaxes just a touch there. And I want her to relax into the feel of my hand without hanging on me. And see, this is a nice little stretch, a little soft feel, a little bit of drive from the back end. I like the reach down with her nose. You'll see what I use my stick for is just forward encouragement. Sometimes Chica wants to get a little bit sideways. That's one of her ways of evading. So even there, I just said, hey, no, we need to stay pushing forward. And it's not in a reprimand or a bad thing. It's just encouragement to stay forward. Forward is what really gets that push and the drive over her back. So here she starts getting a bit more into work. You'll see times where she kind of stretches into that contact, like here a little bit, and pushes from her back end better. But it does take her a little bit today to find that again, and that's okay. I mean, she's young still. We've got time until we get going under saddle. But one of the reasons why I'm doing all this work for her isn't just to make her look a certain way. I want her to learn to use her body the way that I'm going to be asking her to use it eventually under saddle. So I'm changing her postural habits and her muscle tone so that when we are under saddle, the work is easier for her. And you can see here she's finally relaxed. This is how I want her to be working when she's driving up from the back end, reaching down into the contact, stretching that back. And in the whole way she looks like a totally different horse when she's moving like this. And this is why I want to do this. That was a nice transition down. I don't like abrupt transitions, so if it takes them a little bit of time, even here asking for the lope, I asked for like a half a circle until she finally stepped into it, because I don't want her to just get upside down again and lope off the front end. I want her to still push from the back end. So you'll see she breaks a little bit here and there, but I try to not get aggressive about it. I just try and say, no, we got to stay forward. So you'll see she's starting to find that contact in my hand at the lope, but this is a small circle, so I don't spend a lot of time with it here, but just to show her that the continuation from walk, trot, and into the lope is still the same feel. So I love seeing all this stretch she was finally giving me through into my hand and pushing and stretching over that back. All those things are going to be good things when we get under saddle. And just another comparison here, since the early clips were in hand video, so you can see what she looks like from my point of view. It's just really hard for me to video and drive her up correctly. She should be kind of coming into my hand a little bit better, but I can't really feel her great in my hand holding the camera anyway. But I hope that this was fun for you guys as it was for me to watch her changes.